Hello, hello. I hope I am heard fine. I hope I am heard amazing. We got a hype match. Let's start off. Let's start off there before we get into where the state of SBOU and the survey, etc. But we got Finchinator versus Mind Gaming. Both are really good friends of mine. I mean, naturally, of course, because we're all council members. You know, Finch being, of course, leader and Mind Gaming the council member. Both players have been fantastic. This SCL season, Mind Gaming having, I believe, just a slightly bit of a better showing, but Finch has been right up there as well. This is a very hype match, I would say. And yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this match. I look forward to what teams we'll see. Probably, honestly, we see a Zapdos come out from both sides because of how good that Mon is right now in the metagame. But, you know, we may see some creativity on the end of Mind Game, as he doesn't tend to use such conventional teams. He tends to set the trends, not ride them. So yeah, man, I mean, this should be great. This should be great. Hopefully I am coming out clean, coming out fine. I had to add a stream delay to the stream, and I really don't usually stream with stream delays. This is my first time ever doing so I hope that part is correct and right. Oops, my bad. Because the reason why I'm adding a stream delay to this is due to the fact that it's in Smogon's rules, as if you're streaming directly alongside when the game's being played, they can view that as potential ghosting. And I'm not really trying to get tour banned again for something I didn't mean to do once again. So yes, we have a stream delay. So if you're like, oh, why is it NJMP stream exact? Like if you're watching on Smart and watching my stream, like, well, why is there a lag? Well, it's not a lag. It's just simply a delay. Just because you gotta follow the rules. Finch is on. Mine's probably on. Maybe on some alt. I don't know. I'm about to hop on. Okay. So while we're waiting on that, there was a survey that was put out by Ruff this time. And in this survey, which we will be discussing most likely afterwards in the game, we have Annihilate on the survey, Best Caliber, Glasgow, Lando I, Agripon, Palafin, Roaring Moon, Sneasler, Ursaluna, Urshifu single and Shifu single, Rapid, Volcarona, Zamazenta Crown, Darkrai. This list was going to be longer. This was going to be a total of 22 months. Like we were going to put out a list of every single Pokemon that's been basically OU at least once this generation and got banned. As you know, we've had an historic amount of bans in OU, but we wanted to cut it down because, I mean, simply I was more so finding, like, listen, some of these things are, like, obvious. Like, we know Magearna is broken. We know Spectre is broken. As far as I'm concerned, I think we included Palafin on this list, if I recall. But Palafin shouldn't have been on this list. I feel like that was very clear. Broken. I really don't know why we pushed for it to be added, personally. But it is what it is. It's not... And as everyone's not going to have the same opinion, and that is healthy. That is good that everyone does not have the same opinion. That's just a dictatorship, not something with different opinions and outcomes. Let's see. Let me make sure this stream is delaying right. Yeah, it is delaying right. Okay, good. Good. So yeah, we're just simply waiting on them to start. They should be starting in a minute, guys. And we'll go from there. Yeah. This is a World. No, that's that. Why am I? Oh snap! I got World Cup on the thumbnail. I gotta fix that. This is SCL tiebreaker. It's so funny. I gotta fix that on the thumbnail. I'll get to it in post. It is what it is now, but that's crazy. I look mad wild. Let's see. Let me add the people. But yeah, man, I really don't got a favorite in this. I mean, both players have been amazing. So I really don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. I guess if you want to go off historical precedents on what's been happening in SV, you want to pick Mind Gaming, who is just now hopped on. Mind Gaming has been the better player throughout SV, has been the more innovative player throughout SV, and consistent. Finch, as far as if you want to go the historical precedent, like having played the most and been in these situations the most, of having pressure, then you go with Finch. I mean, Finch has been in these moments a lot more, has come through in moments like this, has won big games. So stream buffering a lot. Is it do you think it's buffer, like what are we talking? Let me see. Like, is it lagging, or is it you thinking like the stream is current when it's delayed? Let me know. What's up, Dori? What's up, Ninth? But yeah. Let's see. The game is about to start, I would imagine, as Finch has left the lobby. Locked in. He's ready. This should be a fun one. I really hope it's a good game. I really hope it's a nail biter. We get a good game here. Okay, so we got Mind with an hyper offensive team, and we got Finch with Zapdos. I mean, like I said, the Zapdos is kind of hard not to use. This is kind of what you would expect from both players. Not gonna lie. Both solid teams. I mean, yeah, I would say solid teams from both players. Let's see. I feel like one of these is a screener. I feel like either the Dragapult is the screener or the Hatterene is the screener. Now, I could be wrong, and both could not be a screener. Personally, I am not a fan of Hatterene in this current metagame. I don't really see how you pull off sweeps the way the current metagame is set up. It really is not like... It's not friendly towards it. But it could be, as it I can't even say like it really like lines up well versus Finch. I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it lines up the greatest, but you know, it is what it is. The least viable member on both sides, I would say Volk. He's coming back soon though. Iron Moth, probably least viable member on Mind Gaming's end. And then on Finch's end, I don't know. Finch, every Pokemon on Finch's side looks really good, so I can't even say the least valuable, because I think everyone is important. I guess we'll go with Galar because it doesn't match up well versus pretty much. It does. That's the thing. Everything really matches up well. Least valuable. We don't know sets, so I feel like Finch is great. Like, he's really in a good position. Like, every single mon on his team like looks pretty good. Your stream is stuttering like hell. Dang, that could be because of the stream. It could be because of the lag buffer. Let me see. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I hear it. That's annoying. Let me see what I can. I'm not sure if there's anything I can do about that though, because of where I'm at. You know, I'm in Jamaica right now. And because of the fact that, shoot, let me see. Events. Let me see if I cut this off. Let me see. I'm trying to fix it, guys, as best I possibly can. And then we got the start of the game. Okay, so the Dragonite comes out versus the Zapdos. This could be a Life Orb Dragonite. So that could be big danger for Finch. Let me edit this a bit. Give me a second, guys, as I'm trying. Oh, Thunder Wave up. This is gonna see an outrageous Life Orb. Yup. Life Orb, right? Oh, Banded. No, not surprising. Banded's perfectly fine. Let me see if I can edit this real quick. Hold up. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make the lag not so bad for you guys. So give me just a second. Let me edit this out. These outrages are just going crazy. Let me fix it. Y'all probably like, that's great, you saying it, but we can't say it. All right, that's fixed. Let me cut this down. Let me delete this. Okay, good. All right. So hopefully what I just now did helps the check the buffering. Okay. Hopefully it fixes it. Okay. Hopefully that what I did just now fixes it a bit. Okay, so gets the Iron Head flinch. Not surprising. I mean, it's paired, and I will say I'm sure mine would have loved that chip. Shoot, Finch was kind of in survival mode too, because I know Finch would have preferred this King Gambit not to take the amount of chip that it did, especially with Hatterene, the set not being not knowing the set yet. But anyway, Zamazenta comes out. It reveals leftover, so this is going to be most likely Iron Defense Zamazenta, which honestly looks extremely threatening right now. So it's something definitely to keep in mind. Sorry for the noise in the background, by the way. Clothes are being done. Nothing I can really do about that. But yeah, I mean, the Zamazenta is threatening to say the least. But it will have to most likely, it'll most likely go for like crunch here. I doubt Finch does anything aggressive. Interesting. It's really interesting going to Iron Moth there. I feel like mine went Iron Moth expecting Dragapult to come out. And I'm kind of surprised Finch went Zamazenta so early. Now, mine's in a tricky situation because mine can't stay in off of the threat alone of this being Stone Edge and Iron Moth saying bye-bye. And at this... Okay, I guess mine is going to stay in and let that say bye-bye. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like... Shoot. Here's the thing. The way I'll view it for mine is mine understands that Iron Moth is going to be the least valuable member, as I said earlier in the stream. Like, it's going to be the least valuable member on this game. And also able to probably scout what the Zamazenta set is. Go straight for an SD here. Roar Zamazenta. Oh, yo, when it went fast, I'm like, is it about to roar? Yo, that's crazy. Finch is cooking. Finch is cooking. That's fire. That's a really good tech. I like that tech. I was looking into that tech for EU Ubers, ironically. Goes for Edge here, of course. Hatterene comes out. We see no leftovers, so I'm going to assume this is going to be screens. Which is kind of like what I was talking about earlier. And guys, let me know if the stream's better. I hope it's the lag cuts down a bit. You guys will let me know, I'm sure. I'm sorry. My apologies for that. This is why I don't stream with a delay. When you add a delay, it takes up more memory on your computer. And yeah, that's that on that. Goes for Edge again. Probably predicted a double. And takes the Dazzling Gleam. I see why you would predict that, Finch. I understand it. But was it worth it is the question. Goes for Gleam again. I assume this turn will most likely see some screens. Because one, it's using Dazzling Gleam. So it's like, oh, Nuzzles? What? Goes for Future Sight? That was a free sledge. I'm not sure why Finch went for Future Sight there. That was a very free sledge. There's literally no reason not to sledge. The King Gambit's already... I mean, Future Sight, it works, I guess, but sledge should have been clicked. Okay, no screens, huh? Man, what is that hat? I feel like it has to be screened still, but it's not screening. I don't really know why. I mean... It's probably mine's best and only chance of really pulling this game back. And now, like, because the hat's been... Oh, this is going to be a jetpack? Yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right. That's a free quick though, yeah. And the Future Sight comes in handy for that. Custa? What is going on? So this was Healing Wish, Nuzzle. Okay. I mean, okay. So nothing screens. I feel like it should be screen. Stream is fixed now. Yeah, I think I just had to like just cut down on some things that was taking up some what's it called? I forget. Some of my RAM, and to basically counteract, of course, the stream delay that's already taking up RAM. So yeah, I think it should be much better now, and I should have accounted for that. But as I said, I've never really streamed with a stream delay before, so it wasn't on the top of my head. All right. So this is something's dying this turn. Now remember, everyone, a King Gambit is alive, and it's alive and well. It's alive and well. King Gambit is alive, and it's alive and well. So this game is never over when a King Gambit is alive and well. And mine's, of course, gonna get a KO here. That's a very important confuse for mine. That means that if he chooses to keep the Dragonite around to potentially pick off another kill, he's more than welcome to. Now, on Finch's side, we're most likely gonna see Dragapult come out. And as Dragapult applies the most offensive pressure and makes Mind Gaming think. And at the same time, I would imagine on Mind Gaming's end, if Finch does go Dragapult, it becomes a 50-50 type of situation, right? Because we would assume that Finch is going to need boots on this type of team. So, if we see a potential Dragapult coming in there, we're thinking Wisp. I mean, of course, it could be Specs as well, but we're most likely going to lean on the boots on this type of team, as this team has no type of removal. This team would not appreciate if you didn't get that flinch earlier, so that's crazy. I mean, that's just Pokemon. That's just Pokemon, unfortunately. But I feel for him. I'd assume King Gambit does not drop here. And I would assume Slowking does drop here. So Mind may still win. Because it was basically in hand for Finch. Like, there was literally, like... It was a slim chance that Finch... Oh, yeah, that's game. Ooh. It was gonna be really close, but that definitely does it. If you're Mind, you can just hex this. Yeah, this game is over though. It's literally nothing like this. This game. Mind pulls it out, and his team will advance the Studio Gilbert to the finals. But wow, that really was. It was a good end game. It was a game that honestly looked pretty like over, but like it. Okay, here's the thing. Fitch is talking about the pair and everything, but like again, let's backtrack to. Like, I understand, like, it's Iron Head and T-Wave, like, it's supposed to happen, technically speaking, the way odds, like, but it did happen. So, like, you did get what you needed to be put in a situation to where your King Gambit was healthy enough to revenge the very threatening even Burn King Gambit. And it's just so funny how, like, for example, that Iron Off, again, he's able to scout the set, etc. And that benefits him, though, of course, because his King Gambit also got stronger from Mind. We saw a lot of heat sets in this game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a perfectly fine game. I mean, it was a Pokemon game. It is what it is. I mean, you hate to see it, but it's Pokemon. Who sent me this? Oh. Okay, let's talk about the survey. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that game. I thought it was really good. And then, in fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to edit this. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop the stream, and then I'm going to come back, guys, like in like 5 minutes, and then we'll start talking about the survey, so I can remove this delay and so I can interact with you guys. All right, sounds good. I'm sorry for that, guys. I really wish they would get rid of that rule, but I get it. People aren't able to be honest, so I understand why they have to keep it. Cause oh man, I feel like it would be some funny streams if they kept it. I mean, if they got rid of it, it'd be some funny streams. Oh no, like man, they'd be like, make this play right here. I think this will clinch it. If he makes this exact play, and then they groan, and the person's like, oh, should have been listening to us. All right. Back to survey. Let me pull it up. Let me get it from. Oh, actually, no, I deleted it. I remember now because I was trying to get rid of as many tabs as possible. Okay, it's time to talk about the survey. That's right. Time to save OU. That's right. I know you are tired of OU. You went over and played some UUubers, and now you are ready to return back to the golded tier, only to realize it's not gonna get better. No, in all seriousness, exciting times. DLC drops in 4 days. We got one. We back. Do you think Finch could have won if he saved Terra for Glow? You mean on Glow King? I assume you mean on Glow King. Yeah, probably. But at the same time, Finch is thinking that it's most likely gonna be King Gambit. So it's very understandable why Finch used the Terra there. I mean, Finch is doing basically the best play to win. Of course, though, with it being Terra Drag, and I would say Finch was also going off with the expectation that Kata will be clicked because Terra Ghost is more common than Terra Drag. Well, no, I would say it's met neck and neck. But let's say I would imagine Finch was thinking, okay, if mine's gonna predict a Terra, they'll predict Ghost. So Terra Dragons, because the thing is, like, if you expected mine to Terra Blast, then you're not going to Terra Dragon if it is Lum. You just gotta suck it up. Which is why, what happened that turn? When did Zapdos get sacked? Yeah, which is why I was saying that on this turn, I felt like the best play was to go Zapdos, but it doesn't matter anyway because mine went from Terra Blast, probably expecting the Zapdos sack, which I felt like was really free. So, yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about the survey. Lang, are you still here? And let me also fix my dimensions because I had it set for. Let's see if I can fix this a bit. Just a second, guys. Let me move it this way. All right, there you go. That's much better. Okay. So we got Annihilate, we got Baxcalibur, we got Gliscor, we got Lando I, LO at it being on this. Palafin, LOL as well. Roaring Moon, Sneasler, Ursulina, Blue Moon, Shifu Single Strikes, Rapid Strike, Volcarona, 7% and Dark. Right, okay. So we're gonna tackle this. I don't think we want to be on this long because I feel like some things are very straightforward, but we're gonna talk about it nonetheless. Annihilate. Ooh-wee. Man. So I have not seen a lot of people advocate for it to come back. What was said though by Maverick Shooters, very popular player in the OU community, I'm sure you guys know of him. He was making the point that if you want to run Annihilate now, based on the current Pokemon that are in the metagame, and you want to be effective, you will have to run max speed. You can't run any HP investment. You can't run any bulk. and I hear what? Say that again? I hear him when he says that. But it's still a disgusting mon. It still is a disgusting mon. And it's more so to the fact that it completely, in my opinion, invalidates the balance teams. If you like the balance structure, you will not be able to breathe with Annihilate in the tier. He pretty much, I remember using this thing, man, when it was special. Oh, it was special. Rage Fish, Drain Punch, Taunt. Vert even put me on to, like, you set up Toxic Spikes with another Mon, and then you protect, get your leftovers back. Ooh! Special. Different Mon. And you were coming into Tinglu Ruins, Tinglu Equakes, Core of U-Turns, like, licking your like, oh, this is a beautiful thing. So I personally, well, let's think about it for a second though. Let's give it a chance per se, right? So all balances are gonna run Gliscor when it comes back, because it's gonna come back. Let's be real. Now, Gliscor does outpace Annihilate. So technically speaking, you could run a max speed Gliscor, run things like Toxic to catch it, but then the question becomes, but then it can run Terra Poison, right? So it's like, okay. But then that opens it up to things like Wisp, right? So Volcarona's gonna come back. So you got Volcarona Wisp as a thing to slow down and handle it. You will have things like Toxapex that will come back that can run what's it called? That can run Mental Herb, right? And then you have to factor in that Annihilate, if it isn't running Heavy Duty Boots, will continuously get chipped by hazards if it switches, if it's running the leftover set, right? Annihilate also is a very fantastic spin blocker. Of course, Great Tusk can run like attack booster, so it doesn't, not blocking anything. But it can handle that job pretty well. So, I mean, listen, if you are advocating for Annihilate to come back, you really just are going off with the mindset of, well, we got tons of hazards, so it's not easy to use. We have things like Zapdos in the tier now, so even if you're clicking for example, if you're clicking a Rage Fist, right, and the game just started, your Rage Fist is only going to be 50 base power. So when you come out and you're clicking that Rage Fist, let's say you're even bulking up, you're gonna shake it off. You're gonna shake off whatever damage. Zapdos is gonna shake off whatever damage you throw at it. Okay. And then you make it static, right? So Terra's the interesting. Terra's really honestly what breaks Annihilate, right? So let's say you're like, okay, I really don't like the Zapdos interaction, so I'm gonna run Terra Electric on my Annihilate. I'm gonna Rage Fist. Okay, so if you're running Terra Electric, then you make yourself weak to ground, right? And so you make yourself weak to Garchomp, Great Tusk, Lando T, not really Tinglu, but Sandy Shocks. As far as ground typing goes, is anything returning? Gliscor, of course, will be returning. Apparently, we want to bring on Lando I don't really know why, but it is what it is. But I more so look at it, so like we'll have Terra makes things complicated, of course. But that's Terra. That's just how it is. But again, if you're gonna run something like Terra Electric, that means you open yourself up to Will-O-Wisp, right? So Will-O-Wisp from Cinderace, Dragapult. Of course, Dragapult can't really switch in like that, but it, can pressure it. And that is that on that. Oh, of course, we'll have Flame Body from Moltres. Like it's not gonna be so easy for the kid. Of course, we're gonna have Volcarona comes back. That's not on that list. So listen, it's something certainly to consider. So my thing is, if we bring Annihilate back, just a second, guys, just a second. But yeah, I mean, if we bring Annihilate back, the thing is, what can Balance do, right? So Balance can run Garg. We'll have to run like Terra Fairy. But then again, the thing about that really is not the greatest thing about Garg, of course, is the fact that Stalker is doing no damage, and then you're, getting that damage back. You can run Volcarona with Wisp once it returns. It can start running Gliscor again with it's gonna Gliscor with, so what does this hit? This hits 306, so Gliscor would need to be 307, right? And that takes away a lot of Gliscor's bulk, which, okay, I guess 308 because of the way Eevee's Ivy's work, and then you gotta run max HP, and I guess the rest would go in special defense. I mean, that's not ideal for Gliscor. Gliscor doesn't want to run that much speed. That takes away from its very impressive bulk, and especially with it, lacking roosts, etc. So maybe that would be quote unquote a positive thing. It would make Gliscor a little more balanced by removing a good chunk of its bulk, but that would be an option. Of course, you have to think about the terror elements. But okay, so Balance has Volk, Gliscor, Garg. I mean, and you can't even say, well, okay, they're running mons that they generally speaking wouldn't have to run, or says they wouldn't have to run because of the impact of Annihilate. Balance runs these mons anyway, especially Gliscor. Like when Gliscor was around, every single like you couldn't use a balanced team without Gliscor. That just was, you're going into the game not with the best mentality if you don't have a Gliscor, just simply off of the pressure that opposing Gliscor poses to your team with knockoff, toxic, equick, etc. But hazards. So, these are things to certainly think about. Let's see if there's anything else. As I said, you can run things like Toxapex with Mental Herb, but I mean, it's not the most ideal because we're still going to be in such a hazard stack metagame. Of course, Balance will have Blaze Cinderace as an option to Wisp it. Of course, this is with the expectation that it won't be Terra Fire. But then we have to also come to the reality that Annihilate is really disgusting with a Pokemon like Grimmsnarl or a Pokemon like Dragapult, even though Dragapult of course can Wisp, etc. But we're talking about, we're talking about the screen set. So Annihilate on screens is another thing that's truly ridiculous. I mean, it basically gives you a free stall killer and a free balance killer in one. So having to then think about teams that can handle screens and Annihilate, it's really hard to justify bringing it back. As we have discussed, we do have new means to deal with it, and we will have things like Laddie. Let me see if I can pull that up specifically. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can pull that up, because things like Laddie coming back is really important too. Let me find that picture. Just a second, guys. So, because I can bring the list of things coming back that will actually be in the OU. Well, some of these won't be actually in the OU tier, but y'all will get my gist. But yeah, I mean, Annihilate is certainly an interesting Pokemon. It's a controversial Pokemon with also, and I don't think it's controversial to the point where like Volcarona, where like it has so many fans and people think it should come back. But it's a really fun Pokemon to use when you're using it, but when you're facing it, man, not fun. Let me see. I posted it in the council chat. Let me see if I can find it real quick. A list of all the legends returning, basically, at least what we expect. Oh, by the way, if you do not like spoilers, click off now. If you don't like, so I'm gonna give you like 10 seconds. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. I gave you what the? I literally just copied it. Copy image. Let me just do copy link to be safe, because I'm not sure why it's not pulling up. Gonna pull them now. All right, cool. All right, so we got these legends. We already have some of these legends, but some of these legends are coming back. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it flips a lot of games on its head, and Terra, certainly adds to that. So we have these coming back now. Reality is, most of these will not be OU. Let's be very clear. But things like Laddie does help with Laddie. Now, of course, these do not switch in. Speaking of, me pull up the calculator real quick. How much does Latios take to a unboosted? Cause I was thinking maybe Latios can Latios like come in and like roost off like damage, for example, from it, or like does it just take too much? Cause it is a stab, so I would assume, you know, it's gonna take some damage. It's gonna take a decent amount. It's probably gonna do like what, 60? Let's see, Rage Fist. What is that? Have one of the Shifus come back. Volcarona's gonna come back. I don't know. We'll talk about Crown. Don't trust me. We're gonna talk about Crown. There's been some very interesting opinions on Crown. But yeah, Darkrai is definitely dropping. Oh, I can tell you this right now. There's no way in God's that Darkrai is gonna stay Ubers. There's just nothing. There's literally no reason for it to stay Ubers. There's no justification. Like it's. They keep. Well, my man's SRN keeps saying, well, it adds nothing to the tier. I disagree, but like, I personally do not like keeping Pokemon in Ubers that should not be in Ubers. Like they're just not that good. Like, I don't think Pokemon should just be in Ubers just because they add nothing to the tier if they are, you know, potentially even outclassed as like attackers, right? I don't know, I disagree with that, but nonetheless, Bass Caliber. If you want Bass Caliber in the tiers because you're tired of Zapdos, Galar balances, and Tinglu balances, that's literally the only reason why you want Bass Caliber in the tier. At least and the only justification I feel like you can have, honestly, right? I just don't get it. I just don't see why. And we just start doing the Veil thing again, right? We just start doing the Veil thing again. We just start seeing Ninetales, Bass Caliber teams, and it's like, or even the very popular Galar, you know, that Mind Gaming popularized, the very popular Galar and Bass Caliber. And the funny thing is, we banned back so quick. Honestly, players, I feel like didn't even get a good grasping of it. They didn't start experimenting with it again. I mean, but like Scale Shot was actually like a really big deal, right? So like Scale Shot's what pushed over the edge, basically. Of course, with the introduction of Ninetales making Veil more accessible, you didn't have to run a trash on like Abomasnow. So yeah, I mean, let's be real, people. We don't really need it in the tier, and to double down on that statement, we most definitely don't need it in the tier with him coming back. Like, what? You mean to tell me that we can have it? Like, I just think of this scenario, right? So you have your Lowland Ninetales, right? Okay. Lowland Ninetales sets up Veil. By the way, this strat, you know, wouldn't appreciate things like Skulldurge and Dondozo, but that's offense, okay? And you're not trying to have a metagame where every single team has to have a Dondozo or Skulldurge. That's a bad metagame. Let's proceed. So, Kyurem comes out after Veil's been set. Kyurem starts doing the Dragon Dance thing. You go, let's say you're Clefable, right? You click Boom Blast. The Kyurem proceeds to sub. We can even go to the extent, maybe the Kyurem goes for something like Terra, right? So the Moonblast don't even break, right? Point being is the Kyurem wastes all of the Moonblasts with pressure. Roosting, subbing, ... Cool. All the Moonblasts are gone. Let's say you even take down the Kyurem. Then Excalibur comes out. Now what? Your Clefable's lost all of its Moonblasts. What else you probably had? You maybe even had it's most likely more so balanced teams that would be screwed. But yeah, your Clefable's lost all of its Moonblasts. They gone. It was fun. Or even better, the Kyurem Terra'd on like your Valiant, right? Terra Iced, click Moonblast. It then Icicle Speared it down to either in range of Ice Shot from Bass Caliber or just straight up done, right? Just listen. Of course, this does not look the most appealing view-wise, right? Because you can be like, oh, well, I can just run Scissor. LOL, you're running a Scissor. Don't forget your opponent still has 3 other Moon slots that they can fill with a Fairy Resist. Volcarona's coming back, right? Like, hello? I mean, just throwing a Volcarona on this. What else can you throw on? All right, let's see. We got Water Resists, right? We got Fairy Resist here. What else? We got Water. Fire resist, no resist. Fighting resist right here. We need a rock resist, right? We need a rock resist. Guess what? Boom. King Gambit. Because when all else fails, guess who's gonna carry? King Gambit, okay? And you probably throw a Zamazenta on this too when you're cooking. You probably got a great team. In fact, since y'all want to drop this down, let's just throw in a Zamazenta crown. It's even great. That's true. Roos is not a TM. So it may be fine. You're right. It may be fine. Let's see. That's so funny, bro. What's the better? I'm thinking regular. Let's just look it up. But I think this actually would be fine. What does this team not like? This actually looks like a really good on paper, I think. What does this team not like? I probably like low key gets opposing 6-0'd by. Because of course, you can fix a team to like fit certain sets, but like what is this team not like opposing? This looks great. See, because you even got your built-in Bascalibur checking Ninetales itself. This may be my day one team. This looks good. Oh, you know what this team doesn't like? It does not like Blazing King, which is coming back, but you have Zamazenta to check it, and you got Terra to fix, anything else. And of course, this is with the, belief that you even give Blazing King a chance to even get going, which you probably don't even have to on this type of team. This team looks great. I don't know about y'all, but this looks good. This team won't like Heatran, but Heatran won't like this team because you can run Earthquake coverage here. You can run, it says Earth Power. You're not really running that on this, really. This can run a Terra Ground, Terra Water. Shoot, this is going to miss Magma Storm anyway, and this beats it. So, y'all tell me what this team actually looks weak to, because this looks good. This looks great. But anyway, point being is, I don't see how you can justify bringing backs back. But at the same time, if you want to bring it back, I mean, okay. I mean, we can go through the process again of like, oh, this counters it, right? Or we can do this, right? We can do the dance. I gave it a 3, probably a 4, but probably 3 or 4. I probably gave it a 3. It's like, come on, man. It really doesn't need to come back. Okay, number 4, Gliscor. Well, it's not the 4th mod, excuse me. This is the 3rd mod we're discussing, but I gave it a 4. Okay, Gliscor, I still think it being in the metagame makes our hazard problem worse, right? But I do believe we actually have ways to handle it better now. And those two big things are going to be, most likely, again, Bascalibur probably coming back for some reason. But more so, Kyurem is coming. Kyurem is coming. We're most likely gonna have Roaring Moon coming back to pressure it, you can run an offensive build where like get pressures, etc. Weavile is most likely gonna actually be a viable Pokemon again because we're most likely gonna get getting the TM. What's the TM that's busted on it? What's that move? It's not. What is that move? Triple Askel. Yeah. We get that move back on it. Like these are like this getting Triple Askel back is very big, very big. All right, Kyla, calm down. Bundle's not touching this deer. Anyway, but yeah, like we're gonna have basically we're gonna have the addition of like 2 more viable ice types, and let's say Kyurem and Weavile, so which is honestly a big deal, in my opinion. And then there's the fact that the hazard issue and problem didn't really get much better. We kind of went back to Zapdos, and Tinglu and Zapdos, Tinglu and Zamazenta, etc. But like, we need let me see, how do I put this? I don't know. Gliscor metagame, as much as it like was on every single team and it was really annoying, I don't think it was more annoying than the Zapdos metagame we have right now, where it's just stacking everything, T-waving everything, and just running around. I mean, now, to be fair, in my mind, it would have been best if we kept Roaring Moon and we got rid of Gliscor first, but that's not what happened. And of course, with the removal of things like Sneasler, stuff that removes Pokemon that are able to pressure an OHKO and really hurt Zapdos, like mons that would have limited its bulk. Oh, not limited its bulk, more so limited its speed and having to run more bulk, etc. So yeah, I mean, Glasgow can come back. We're most likely gonna have Darkrai come back as well. Not come back, excuse me, drop down for the first time. And this has Ice Beam, right? So that's a big thing that Vert likes to bring up is that that introduction of that mon coming back is going to be great. And I think we're also going to need Gliscor if we're going to be dropping down the beloved Volcarona. For some reason, y'all really want it back. So Volcarona's coming back. We're going to need Gliscor to handle that. So I really think Gliscor will be dumb. But we will hopefully have more ways to pressure it and more ways to handle it to where it should be balanced. And I do think it's gonna have a lot of monsters that are gonna pressure. I think that I personally find HO to primarily be very unviable right now. I think if you're gonna run HO, you kind of have to have a King Gambit, or if you're running webs, you're kind of fishing. Like you're really just fishing if you're running like something like webs. You're not really like going to a matchup with like a strong chance of winning. But I mean that's okay. I mean, OU's been. Oh, let me rephrase. It's not okay because that's not how you want a tier to be. Where like a entire playstyle is not that viable. But listen, every playstyle is gonna have its phases, and OU has been dominant for the majority of this SV tiering cycle. Things like balance have taken a bad seat and been heavily burdened by all the threats. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, with the information we have, Gliscor should be okay to come back. And I think 3 additional Pokemon that can run ice coverage is a really big deal, because when Gliscor was around, what did we have with ice coverage? We had Weavile with that, but it was a fake Pokemon. It wasn't good, really, honestly. We had Greninja, but no one was really running ice coverage. We were using water coverage rounds. Like we were using Manaphy, we were using Wellspring. Like we weren't really hitting no ice types. Okay, we didn't have hidden power ice or anything like that. So that's that on that. I mean, welcome back, Gliscor. Don't make us regret it. I will say I'm gonna probably have a lot of fun with Gliscor and Veil. I love Gliscor Veil. The thing is so dumb in Veil. So yeah. So Gliscor returns. I mean, I voted a 4. I certainly when we have to vote, I'm gonna vote for it to come back. I don't see any reason why not. We'll see. I mean, if it does the same things. I mean, the point being is what's gonna happen is Gliscor's gonna come back. It's gonna do the same things to probably a lesser extent, but it's gonna be annoying nonetheless. And then people are gonna be like, oh, we should have banned gold, and then we get the gold suspect, and whatever happens. All right, Lando I should not be on this survey. I don't know why it wasn't. Let me be very clear. I know why it was included because councilman was like, maybe we give it a chance. I still need a further. Let me be very clear. I still need to talk. I still need like better clarification on like the mentality here, because they were saying that the chances of it clicking Nasty Plot are slim, which I don't particularly see. Like I still think it's gonna get it off. The counterpoint is that we'll have things like Gliscor to like help with it. Of course, that can toxic it, Ice Fang it. We have things like Tinglu, which Tinglu drops to a focus blast after a Nasty Plot. So I mean, take that as you will. We get things like Special Defensive Corviknight. We're getting the Laddie Bros back that are able to roost off the damage most likely. So there's of course Weavile's gonna be broken again. It's lost things like Rock Polish. That's National Dex, but that Rock Polish is gone. But let's be very clear, man. This thing is a balance killer, and as far as I'm concerned, probably would invalidate balance very similar to Annihilate. I think I gave it a 3 as well because I'm just like, I mean, if you want to try it, okay. I mean, and shoot. What really sold me is that it's an offensive ground that can actually pressure Zapdos. That sounds amazing. That sounds fantastic. But reality is, I don't know what I'm gonna vote yet on it. I'm leaning it needs to stay away from the tier. But I mean, we'll see, I guess. My thing is like, what stops a player from just running Nasty Plot webs with Lando I? That sounds so disgusting. Sounds so disgusting. Of course, it's going to get heavily pressured by tons of priority. Of course, once it gets a little chip, we'll have King Gambit Sucker. We'll have things like Water Shuriken from Greninja. We'll have Weave with the Ice Shark. But like the thing is, like as I said, like that's like Westbrook. It doesn't have Rock Polish anymore, so it can't really be a sweeper. It really just comes down to being a breaker. I will say though, having used it heavily in Ubers, its damage output is completely ridiculous. So I don't see it. I really don't see it. But what's y'all opinion on Lando? Like how do y'all feel about it? I just don't think it can really be in the tier, and the tier be a balance. Non-skillful. Like I didn't think it positioned itself amazing on Sun. I think that at the time, particularly, like there was some, there's much better viable Sun Pokemon like Walking Wake, Iron Moth, arguably. So, yeah, I don't know. I just felt we banned it too soon. Now as far as things that come back to help it, not really anything. Because the fastest mons on this, of course not, counting items and, these reaching their final form, etc., I think is Laddie, like at base. I'm pretty sure Laddie's the fastest. And that ties... Actually, what does Raikou hit? Because Raikou actually may be faster. Yeah, Raikou is the fastest. But anyway, Raikou's not switching point. Meaning Laddie... They'll come in, but, then you risk a speed tie, and... Of course, this can just U-turn, so it wasn't really running U-turn, I would say. I don't know. It's really a 3. If we keep it banned, cool. If we unban it, also cool. I don't really know what I'm going to vote yet. I'm straight down the middle. I'm really straight down the middle with it. Yeah, Kyle, I feel you. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Because it's so drudged down by hazards. But then the question is like, okay, well, even if it's just on hazards, you're forcing it out. Like a team I made when, and I really like this team. I made had Moltres, Zamazenta, Tinglu, Great Tusk, and the Great Tusk was Terrafire because of that mon. It had a Fable with Encore, and what was the last Pokemon on this team? I don't really remember. Oh, it was Wellspring, because Wellspring was, and still is. So yeah, I used this team, and it did really well into, the Heartflame cores. I mean, I as I said, I got my hazards up, I kept them up, and I won the game. Like I'm sorry, like it just that I know I'm simplifying it, but that's just how games went for me. And the thing is, once we know what its Terra is, we don't have to be like, oh, it could be Terra Dragon, it could be Terra Water, it could be Terra Electric. No, we know what its Terra is. It's Terra Fire. We know what it is. And then we know once it's Terra, they cannot Terra. Nothing else can Terra. So once Terra fires, guess what? You're able to Terra Fire with your Great Tusk. You're going to handle it. Like, I mean, I don't know. When it's all said and done, every single one of the Argopons are dumb. This one is dumb. This one needs to get rid of the Terra. I remembered when Argopon... Heartflame was popping off. I'm like, Wellspring's the more broken one. This is the one we actually need to quick ban. But everyone was on Heartflame Frenzy, and shoot, I'm still standing on that because Wellspring is dumb right now in the metagame. So, get rid of every single one of them. I guess except Cornerstone, but that one's dumb too, technically. But I guess, Anyway. Yeah, clean 3. Clean 3. Palafin 1. Keep that in Ubers. I don't even know why this is on the list. Man. Lily, I'm going to pull up what Lily said, because Lily's the one that's, I would say, the biggest Palafin fan. So what Lily said is honestly probably the best pro, from a really good player. Palafin should get a chance argument that you're going to find. And let me see if I can find Lily's post. Is this Lily? No, it's not Lily. Dang, I'm sorry for the mistakes. Lily. Where's my friend Lily? Okay, I can't find a single Lily. I don't know what Play does. Don't help a brother out. Okay, there we go. All right. Where's Lily's post? Okay. When Palafin first dropped, we were using respectively dog-ish teams featuring dog-ish Pokemon that don't represent current SVOU at all. Stuff like Iron Trez and A-Ring and Toxapex being considered good come to mind. Well, I mean, because of Pokemon like Palafin and Chimpao running around, and Toxapex was our savior. Okay, like it was good, but you know, as I said, like yeah, it was broken Pokemon making not the greatest Pokemon be great. Oh yeah, that's right. We're getting back the paradoxes. Not getting back. We're first getting the paradoxes. You guys bring a good point. Let me think about that for a second. Cause I'm kind of like, I don't know. They don't seem like they're gonna be like such impactful Pokemon. I've kind of blocked out. So we're supposed to get the Raikou paradox. That's Electric Dragon, and then what's the other one we're supposed to be getting? There's only 2 confirmed, and then we're supposed to. Can someone send me a link of like the legends the new legends, like a Twitter something that like describes where they're supposed to be real quick, so we can kind of go over them real quick because that's actually interesting. Can someone send me on Discord, like what we're supposed to be getting, and then maybe even like 2 of the rumored ones. I know Entei's rumored. Yeah, I would appreciate that. Okay, let me pivot back. Where are we? Okay, yeah. So anyway. I firmly believe the metagame has become significantly more hostile to Palafin. Between it needs to switch, terrible in a hazard heavy metagame. It can just run boots. Really good fast jet punch resist that heavily threatened. I mean, Argopon. I feel like the biggest case you can make for Palafin comeback is because we have Argopon Water, which should be banned to begin with, but we move. Dragapult, Rillaboom is a very big factor. Walking Wake being here. Okay, sure. Underwhelming power because stuff like +1/9 just Dirty Punch still doesn't just isn't strong enough. Once these attacks, defensive counterplay being more useful thanks to additions of Scald and Toxic. I mean, we're just gonna run COVID Cloak. Well, let's move COVID Cloak. It also only lasts. Let me just tell. Lily is thinking that people are going to be very honest with this Pokemon. They will not be honest. Okay. We barely got to explore ways to play around it. Choice band may be different. We have no proof of that. I mean, we kind of did have some kind of proof of that, in my opinion. I would not see in action. I'm not really sure where the idea that Palafin is the same monster comes from. I think it's more under. Listen, man. I played in the Palafin metagame. That Pokemon was special. I remember I was like struggling at one point, like trying to figure out, okay, what's good, what to build, and then I threw a Palafin on my team. Special. And then of course is the Terra factor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure we can figure something out with it. And I'm sure it would be Terra reliant, but that does not change the fact that it would be disgusting. Because this is my thing. Even if we're in a metagame that is reliant on hazards, and we have a hazard-filled metagame, I feel like Palafin would definitely get some very good opportunities to still take advantage of that. I still think we'd be able to, or shoot, we may even see things like okay, if you're gonna stack a hazard on my Palafin team, I'm gonna run Cinderace to try to scare you into being hesitant to hazard stack. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, your team could have boots, so even if I do core change it doesn't, matter for you. But nonetheless, just to get those hazards off the field on my end, and then apply pressure with my Palafin, that's pretty scary. I mean, another thing that Lily did not include is Zapdos. Zapdos is actually a really big factor, as that also does negate setup Palafin. Listen, if you want to give it a try, cool. I guess. I mean, I've been playing UU Ubers, and Palafin has been like a top 10 disgusting mon in a tier with Palkia, Origin, Zacian, Lando Eye, Dagla, Magearna. If you top 10 disgusting in a tier with those monsters, like come on. Like I don't see the vision. So yeah, I gave it a 1. I'm pretty sure. I could move it up to a 2 maybe, but we don't really need that. We don't really need it. I just don't see the benefit of it. $30% usage. I don't remember the usage, but shoot, 30% usage and you're only there for a week. Special. As I said, the mom was generational. Roaring Moon. This got a 4 for me, not a 5 because it is a disgusting mon still. But personally, think it should have been banned. Thought we had a decent amount of an okay enough, I would say, counterplay to where it did not need to be banned. And I now think with the introduction of Weave All back to being viable, that's a very important thing. We may have Bats Caliber starting in the tier that will be coming back. Another thing that is important is what else? What's something else? Oh yeah, Skarm's coming back, and that should be able to help with it. I think Sand's gonna be pretty valuable. And I think we'll have T-Tar Escadrille cores that it has to deal with. Of course, it does run Brick Break, don't get me wrong, but it's more so that there's something to revenge it. So I mean, Roaring Moon, as far as I'm concerned, it really needs a chance to come back. It needs a chance to. And I don't think I thought the metagame was gonna get bad when it got banned, and the metagame, as far as I'm concerned, did get bad when it got banned. I don't think the metagame got better when it got banned. So I'm personally okay with it returning. It's gonna be hard to convince me that it needs to be banned. I feel like there's probably something else that's gonna help with it, but now I'm forgetting. But yeah, I think Roaring Moon's perfectly fine for it to come back. Sneasler, I probably gave it a 3. Or 1. I don't remember, but we're gonna like say it's a 2. Sneasler doesn't really need to come back. I mean, I didn't vote. Okay, let's be very clear. As you probably know, I did not vote quick ban on Sneasler when the vote came up. The main reason why I did not vote quick ban on Sneasler is quite simple. How are we going to suspect Gliscor, but then quick ban Sneasler? If we're talking in terms of brokenness, and the whole reason why we quick ban suspect, etc., is going off of terms of brokenness it is in the metagame. There was no point, in my opinion, that Sneasler was more uncompetitive than Gliscor, or centralizing than Gliscor. Let me not say uncompetitive, centralizing. They were basically about the same, if anything. They were basically neck and neck the same, as far as I'm concerned. So, if we are not going to, if we had quick ban Gliscor, I would understand it. But we did not. So, I do not understand it. So, I voted suspect. And as you know, I was the only one that voted for suspect, but it is what it is. So now we come to the point where it's like, okay, now instead of voting again, I will be probably voting for it to keep it in Ubers. I don't think we really need that back. We are going to have so many those kind of megatons. I just don't think we need another metagame where just grassy terrains is so dominant again. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would help in the case of, bringing down mons like Roaring Moon and Bax Caliber and Darkrai, like, their influence on the metagame and them running the metagame would, make those quote unquote, mons not able to pressure the metagame so much, but then it becomes a broken type of thing. So yeah, 2 for me. I don't think it needs to come back. I'm most likely I'm going to vote for it not to come back. All right, Ursaluna Blood Moon. I'm pretty sure I voted 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure I voted 1. I really think this is short and simple like Sneasler. I voted quick ban. No. We couldn't even vote quick ban. We had to do suspect because you people. Not enough people saw the vision. Not enough people saw the vision of it being broken to cut those people some slack. Bax Caliber was in the metagame as well, so all focus and attention with Bax Caliber, but Blood Moon was clearly broken. We're not getting anything really to help the problem. We still have Terror. So yeah, how much is Blood Moon Latias? Because this would be a Latias question, since it does learn recover. If you click let's see, Blood Moon. Where's Blood Moon? Am I sure? Oh, there it is. Okay, if you run Modest, yeah, sure. Let's keep it. You do that much. Okay, so you're able to recover it off. What if they call mine? You'd have to call mine yourself. That's not a fun one. Yeah, I mean, so technically Latias could be... Nah, not even really, because it's got to take rocks. Nah. It's not really fantastic. Point being is, Blood Moon, we ain't got nothing for it. We really don't got nothing for it. I don't think anything's dropping to come for it. Let's see. We do have Pressure Mon like Suicune. It could run a special defensive spread and could Calm Mind with it. That would actually be kind of fun. So Suicune could kind of be a measure for it. But we are getting a lot of Pressure Mons, which kind of is important in, because Blood Moon, of course, has only, its strongest stab, scary stab has only APP. So technically, you could play some games around with it and waste the Blood Moon PP. I mean, technically speaking, you could, which is something to consider, but I don't think we really need that in the metagame, so it doesn't really help. It doesn't really help us, so yeah, we'll just ban that. Single Strike. Okay, I'm pretty sure I voted this a 3, and I'm pretty sure I voted this a 1. Rapid. Single Strike, here's the way I view it. I'm going to speed this up because I've been streaming for a while now. Getting stream fatigue. Shifu, I feel like suffers from 4-move syndrome. So here's the thing. Shifu, wait just a second, guys. Just a second. Okay, yeah, so it suffers from 4 MS. And it will not get treated for it. So, Sword Stance, Wicked Blow. No, you're gonna run Close Combat, Drain, Close Combat, and Sucker. So if you run this set, you are fully walled by fairies. So the fairies that we have are Iron Valiant, Fable, of course, Enamorous. I mean, Enamorous, of course, doesn't love the switch in, but hey, it is a check. We have Ninetales as well, right? So then you're fully walled by fairies, all right? If you end up running SD, right, and you run, let's say, Poison Jab over CC, that means you're walled by like a Tinglu. You're walled by King Gambit, so you're not gonna run that. If you drop Sucker Punch, which, okay, you can drop Sucker Punch, that means you're going full Balance Breaker. You're not going to be probably that much of a factor in games with HO. HO is going to eat you up and eat you alive, as they're going to basically have probably almost every single Mon outspeed you. Right? So, now I feel like in maybe some cases, maybe the best set will be just straight up 4 attack, right? Just straight up 4 attack, CC, Wicked Blow, Poison Jab, Sucker Punch. But then if you go that route, that means you're non-boosting, right? So if you're non-boosting, you got things like Tux coming in, you got things like Leno T coming in, you got things like Zapdos coming in, and they don't have to worry about you. So I feel like it suffers from 4 MS. But here's the dilemma I feel like that I come down to is that I feel like they both can be in the tier at the same time. Because if you put both in the tier at the same time, then I feel like you then just come down to having a problem of Dark Spam. And Dark Spam, Dark Spam is really interesting. Because I remember making a team a while ago and I mean a while ago, like generations, like three generations ago, where I focused on Dark Spam. And yeah, I mean, shoot, you can maybe even see teams that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it won't be the most ideally, like, conceptual-wise, but you may see like Darkrai, Weavile, Shifu, like, just Dark Spam, where you just, your generally speaking measures would be so overwhelmed that, it wouldn't be the greatest. And then you got the fact that there's things like Zamazenta in the metagame. Shoot, we may even have both Zamazentas in the metagame that's able to handle it. So I think, honestly, it would be most likely okay for the metagame. Discounting Weavile, I don't think both Pokemon can be in the chair at the same time. I can see a lot of cheese structures coming down to basically removing whatever the other doesn't enjoy. And most likely in this case, the most viable concept of this most likely would be the Darkrai running some type of poison move for the for the Clefables, or maybe something like Roselia Berry, just to like maybe put them asleep, maybe even on Hypnosis, something like that, just something that pressures to the point where they either one does a number to your team, right? So I don't think they both can be at the tier at the same time. Separately, though, I think if they weren't together, and Darkrai would be the, I would say, lesser evil of the two, because I do think Shifu can have its moments. But yeah, Darkrai definitely less of the two. So if you had to choose one, if you're rolling the server and you gotta choose a mon, that's mostly gonna be those balanced. Darkrai is probably gonna be a choice. But Shifu, single strike, it's, in my eyes, it probably would be okay, kind of. It most likely would be balanced. Yes. I think single strike. Oh, single strike's definitely less stupid than rapid. I don't really know why people want rapid to come back. I mean, I think I gave it a 1. Rapid. I mean, very quickly. See, I would load up the Blender clip if I had it, because it's literally so funny. But anyway, yeah, like it's rapid. It doesn't need to come back in the tier. Rapid's so dumb. It makes rain viable. Don't get me wrong. We would have things like Agropon in the tier now to like stop it from spamming strikes, but Agropon doesn't want to come into a CC. Agropon doesn't want to come into a U-turn. So yeah, exactly. And you can Terra Fairy on it. And you can have your your Volcarona Terra Fairy come in consistently, pressure it with Wisp. You can have your Great Tusk run Terra Fairy. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. But I definitely think I'm pretty sure I gave it a 3. I can honestly give it a 4 maybe, but I just gave it a 3 because it's like I'm not gonna say it's really gonna help the metagame. But and shoot, even then, like with this in the metagame, would force things like Zapdos to run max speed again, which honestly it is a good thing to. I feel like to force a mon that's annoying and pressure so many Pokemon as Zapdos into running max speed. But yeah, I mean that's a situation Zapdos would be in just because it has to outpace threats such as these. But yeah, Rapid's dumb. It's dumb. It doesn't need to be in the metagame. Terra Water, Trailblaze, stuff like that. Like it's really done. Yeah, Bandit. So yeah, that's the thing. It's probably like the best set on it. Probably another good set on it would be Bandit. But so my thing is like, okay, but if you're running Bandit, you're not running Boost. That means you're getting chipped down by hazards every single time you're coming in such a hazard-filled metagame. So are you really going to be that effective? We don't know. I mean, we would have to see. But if anything, would probably be a really fun set on it would be a Jetpack. I feel like a Jetpack with CC would probably be really fun. Set that would see a lot. So yeah, but yeah, I don't think Rapid can be in the tier, but single probably can. Volcarona, I gave this a 4. This is a very bittersweet vote on Volcarona. The tier. I don't really have much to say on it, but I don't really see how you can justify keeping it banned. I think we have enough ways to handle it. It's gonna be a we don't even know if it's gonna be a good Pokemon. We'd imagine it would be a good Pokemon, but when you're relying on moves like Focus Blast to break through things like because it doesn't have Grass Knot, like things like Tinglu, you gotta hit things Focus Blast and things like Gambit. Getting another Gambit check's really nice. I mean, we'll see. No clue what its best set's gonna be. Maybe it's something like Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, Ice Beam, Sludge. Maybe it's just straight up 3 attacks. That's probably gonna be his best set, ain't it? All right. Yeah, this is probably gonna be its best set. Which, it will get the job done. It'll pressure out some. It'll pressure. Yeah, cause like, you have coverage for Gliscor, you have coverage for, Gambit, Tinglu. So like, even if, for example, like the Tinglu's leftovers, it has for it to come in, it would have to take hazard. So if you hazard stack with it properly, and even then you may not, if you chip it down enough, you can maybe just Ice Beam it every single time you predict it to come in. So it takes like 20 or whatever. I don't know. It can. That's probably one of the best set. Like, don't get me wrong. It probably will have its scary moments with some structures. This will probably be its best set. What handles this set? I don't even think Nasty Plot will be its best set. It's probably gonna be like 4 attacks. I don't think Hypnosis is gonna be its best set because then you're risking Hypnosis. But then shoot, maybe you'll see some HO teams where they run like Hypnosis, Valiant, and then Darkrai like kind of benefits from that, or vice versa. Yeah. A very interesting for me. Like, I guess the biggest concern with me with Darkrai is like, I feel like Among Us Darkrai core is gonna be like stupid good. Like on bounce, like boost. I feel like that's just like that's the core like that really should be like feared, because Among Us basically guarantees a spore unless your team has a golden go. So like it guarantees the Pokemon being asleep. So you pivot to that Pokemon. Darkrai, really good players. They understand how to pivot and position well. Darkrai comes in, boom, it's able to get that chip off on your Mon and also potentially set up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm really gonna appreciate another speedy Mon in the tier that doesn't need that can run boots and doesn't need to like a boosting item to be effective. Of course, if you're running this set, things like special defensive Corv will handle it. I'm trying to think what else handles this Mon. And OU. Let me kind of go back to OU for a second. The current OU. Because I do think that will be its best set. Like, that actually will be like its scariest set. Because, like, Tinglu, of course, will handle it to an extent. Zamazenta comes into those attacks pretty well. So Zamazenta will be a way to handle that. Of course, offense will be able to pressure it. Special defensive Lando will be able to come into that to an extent. Pretty sure Dondozo will be able to do that, but yeah, I mean, to an extent, we'll see. I do think Darkrai could. This probably will be its scariest set. Like, talking out with you guys, this will probably be the go-to set, and that's probably what I'll be running personally. We'll see. But yeah, it got a 5 for me. It deserves to be tested. So, anyway, guys, any questions? Anything you guys want to discuss real quick before I hop off and throw myself into football? Yeah, Zama's. Yeah, I don't think we can have Crown back. It's in my opinion, it's much better than I mean, maybe not much better, but it's definitely better than at least for the OU tier. Currently as it's shaped. So. We get Serp coming back. The thing that sucks is none of these mods really help with Dio. Yeah, if they come, that's so interesting because we really don't know. Game Freak don't be telling us nothing, man. Dio, Deoxys, its best set would be Life Orb, I'd imagine, or Boots. Life Orb or Boots. I talked about this on Blender stream, I think like a week ago or so. I think it would probably be maybe okay, maybe. But I don't know. I guess the question, to be fair, and the question is like, does it really help the tier? I mean, again, as I said, I don't like to think like that. I like to go off the mindset like, okay, if the Pokemon's not an Uber and it's okay enough to be an OU, then it should be an OU. But Blender brought up a good point, I think, or someone brought up a good point. What things that it can potentially do in psychic terrain is pretty scary. That could be pretty busted. Speaking of, psychic terrain is going to be so back most likely, or at least, well, no, it won't be so back because of Grassy Glide. But what I will say is psychic terrain with Volcarona will be very potent and will be very effective, as at least it will give them a mon to potentially punish Rilla and not have it just easily spam Grassy Glide, because of course Rilla then risks the chance of being burned and not being as effective versus psychic terrain. Even the main reason Rilla's so annoying to psychic terrain is it removes the psychic terrain. But nonetheless, that is something to think about. So Galio. Oh, that's a really good. I like that one. But yeah, Deoxys, I think it can be really scary. So I mean, you can run Ice Beam. Most likely you'd be running like Grass Knot on it. So I think I talked about this with Vert. I was like, okay, you'd run, and if he keeps knockoff, because we don't know if he keeps knockoff, it'd run like Grass Knot, knockoff, Psychic Boost, and like Superpower, and then like covers basically the entirety of the tier. Like, right? I don't think anything in OU handles that well. And nothing would really enjoy that. And shoot, you can even drop one of those moves. Like you can drop, let's say you drop knockoff and you run Psychic Boost and you run like taunt, or let's say you run spikes. I don't know. I don't think we needed an OU. Let's put it that way. And I'm not saying it would be overpowered, but I don't think we really needed an OU. I mean, of course, best measure for it would be like something like Tinglu with Scissor, because there's really like no reason to run like Fire Punch with Aegislash down the tier. So. And then the last thing I'll talk about is Solgaleo. But yeah, I don't think we really need Deoxys speed. And what I will say, its best set will in no way be spiking. Why would you run speed when you can run a Pokemon that does damage and gets you a spike up Gen Speed guaranteed? Why would you not run Sam H over it? Okay, real quick, Solgaleo. What's the BST on this? This is disgusting, right? Instinct City. Yeah, I was looking at it because I was like, maybe it can be OU. I just don't see how you can justify it though, because even though it is slow, its bulk is pretty good, y'all. And I mean, what even comes in? Like, what safely comes into it? Can you tell me? Because I really don't think it's pretty straightforward. And then because it has decent special attack, it can run a mix set too. So for example, I don't think you could. And it can run things like Future Sight. It's got healing in Morning Sun. I'm sure it lost on it, but I don't know. I feel like it could be. Oh, it probably kept teleport. If it kept teleport, then that thing would be so good, so much fun to use. Yeah, I just don't think Solgaleo would be the most balanced thing, for the simple fact that like what really comes in and handles it. Like theoretically, it has the coverage moves really to hit everything in the tier. So let me think. So let's say you run. Let's just think straight attacking, right? You run this. Is Heavy Slam its best? Fails if no terrain is active. Oh, that's funny. You can run like grassy terrain with this, and then Sun Steel Strike. Would you run Sun Steel Strike? Wait, what? Ignores the abilities of other Pokemon. Does this thing get SD? Oh, okay, I'm about to say. Wait a second. Whew. Does it get bulk up at least? Does it get any attack boost? Why did it just got Calm Mind, but no all this attack, but no boost in it? Man, Game Freak be trolling, man. Cause I was thinking if Sun Steel Strike does all that, maybe it could get past Dondozo, because this is gonna ignore and aware. Not a single attack boosting set insight. Gets Cosmic Power. Ooh, Cosmic Power. Does it get Store Power? Good. It don't even need Store Power. Busted move. Taboo's comeback would be interesting. But anyway, let's get back on track. So Psychic, and then you're either running Heavy Slam or Sensor, and then you have this busted move, Heat Crash. Okay, and then, by the way, this set, the answer for this set would probably be Volcarona. Like Volcarona could come into that, but then it's like, okay, after Volcarona, and then Moltres, but like it gets shaky. And then what else? I guess you'd run Morning Sun, but like I'm thinking that in the context of never mind. No, those not even switching. This one Stone Edge. Yeah, so when it's all said and done, this thing has two. We would have to see. We would. Ooh, I hope I didn't just do something to the chat and like ban someone. If I accidentally ban you because I misclicked on my phone, let me know on Discord. My Discord's Riv. We got Stone Edge, Toxic. I mean, I'm sure he's lost a lot of these moves. So we would have to see its move pool. Give us, Game Freak gives us an idea what